All right, it's time for some fantasy football. We got our guy D Nasty back. Dave, how was your Thanksgiving weekend?
Wonderful. It was always nice to watch a little bit of football and eat some Thanksgiving turkey and watch the John Madden specials and the turduckens. Always a good Thanksgiving.
It sure as heck is, man. Yeah, I'm watching Jonathan Taylor fumble right now. I'm kind of upset about I'm down by 4 in this league. He should have got the touchdown and he fumbles. But I think they just awarded it to Matt Ryan. It looks like it was a
Well, they
quarterback
did.
exchange. Yeah. It was
Interesting
a
because
court.
Taylor had it in his hands and then it fell out of Taylor's hands. So that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe the whole quarterback exchange is just based upon the website where you're going. That's an interesting,
It could be, yeah.
yeah, very interesting. I've seen it usually go to the running back myself, so I'm kind of scratching my head here, but sweating that one out. Otherwise, yeah, we had a great Thanksgiving as well, and back at it with some fantasy. Lots of craziness this week, and there's some key injuries and a little bit of bye weeks, isn't there, Dave?
Yep. I'll get into only two teams on bye this week. So a pretty light bye week this week. We got the Arizona Cardinals, your hometown there, Kiev. We got Kyler Murray.
Not hometown,
Oh,
my
your
trans
new
trans
transplanted hometown.
yeah, it's
So we got Kyler Murray, quarterback, who a lot of people are probably starting. DeAndre Hopkins, Marquise Brown, who came back this past week. James Conner. Those are going to be the main guys. I don't think you're starting any tight ends, McBride, but he's definitely a sleeper. He's not someone you're starting anyways. So not too many guys on the Cardinals. Panthers, you're really not starting many Panthers either. Maybe DJ Moore, Dante Foreman. Those are going to be probably the only two that you're really starting. None of the other quarterbacks you're going to be starting at this time. So plus they've been rotating quarterbacks like crazy. It's a little quarterback carousel there for the Panthers. So you never know who's going to start at quarterback anyway. So you're not starting any of those guys. Maybe Terrence Marshall, borderline, but you're probably not starting him unless you're really desperate and has a lot of bye weeks. So main guys are going to be Foreman and DJ Moore.
Former to Moore. Chubb's been hurt or Chuba Hubbard's been hurt for a while. So really Foreman is the big guy. I mean, if you're starting one of those garbage quarterbacks, I feel sorry for you anyway, you know. But it's funny, DeAndre Hopkins was suspended and you get him back for, 6 for maybe 4 or 5 weeks or whatever it's been, and now he's out again. Just creeping up on people in week 13. But otherwise, Kyler Murray, I guess, you probably started. He was definitely hot and cold this year. He's had some stinkers himself. So, not terrible for bye weeks here with just the Cardinals and the Panthers. Let's move on to key injuries. My Bears, man, Dave, we just injured everybody before the Packer game this week. So I'm kind of disappointed with that. Darnell Mooney and Eddie Jackson on defense. Of course, Eddie Jackson is just an IDP type situation, but Darnell Mooney, Eddie Jackson for the Bears, and Justin Fields might not even play. And also, Aaron Rodgers got hurt that game a little bit last night against the Eagles. I think he's going to be okay, though. I think he's going to play, Dave.
I'm hoping he doesn't, but we'll see. They said it's his ribs, but it could be his oblique. They were saying last night it was oblique, but now they're saying today is it's ribs. So probably going to play with a rib injury. I think Justin Herbert started with a rib injury too, so I think he probably plays this week. I'm hoping he doesn't. I'd like to see Love get some play, but we'll see.
It's funny. It's Aaron would want to play because he's making $50 million. He doesn't want the other guy to show better than him right now. That'd be pretty embarrassing. So I think he's going to try. I think he's going to play in Chicago, and he's got an easy defense, probably the worst in the league right now with all the injuries and the trades the Bears did. Complete rebuild. It's like they didn't even want to hide it. They're like, we are rebuilding. Travis Etienne, foot injury for the Jaguars. So he went out that game. We'll see how bad that ends up. Wide receiver Allen Robinson. Now, Pittman just scored a touchdown. Allen Robinson needs foot surgery, and he's out for the season. Not like it mattered because the Rams were terrible anyway, and I wouldn't doubt if they bench Stafford the rest of the year too. Running back Michael Carter for the Jets went out with an ankle. Running back Elijah Mitchell with an ACL sprain for the Niners, and running back Najee Harris just this game left the game as well. So we'll monitor that injury, Dave. That's all I have.
Yeah, and Mitchell, they're saying he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, so he is droppable now, especially with McCaffrey there. So They said that MCL sprain was more serious than they thought. He probably won't need surgery, so 68 weeks. So for fantasy purposes, you can drop him if it's not a dynasty league. He's not going to be playing the rest of this year.
Correct. So there you go with the injuries. Do you have any others?
No, that was all I had. You had most of the same ones that I did.
I didn't see a lot from Thursday. I tried to look back and I couldn't find a lot from Thursday, really. I think most people got out of it healthy.
2 key notes that weren't injuries, but people that started. Mike White, like I said, played this week. Started in place of Zach Wilson. And Kyle Allen started in place of David Mills this week. So just make a note of that as well. Those guys weren't injured, but they did lose their jobs to the backup quarterbacks.
That's right. Lost their jobs. They took our jobs. Now, waiver wire, I'm guessing you have Mike White on there, maybe?
Yeah, most definitely. So my number one waiver wire pickup this week is going to be Mike White. He's the guy I talked about a little bit last week on the podcast, and I think he's going to be a league winner if he plays like he did this past week, over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he's not very rostered right now. Low percentage of rostered right now in most leagues, so he's very able to be picked up right now. Another guy is Deshaun Watson. He's coming back in week 13. He's going to be returning. Comes back with a nice matchup against the Houston Texans, who are just horrible right now. Only 56% owned. So if Watson's out there, definitely snatch him up. Definitely want him. A couple running backs. We talked about Jarrett McKinnon last week. I won't talk about him again. But another running back you definitely want to grab this week is Zonovan Knight. I didn't know who this guy was until this past week, but he looked good. James Robinson was a healthy scratch on Sunday. So with Michael Carter injured, it could be Zonovan Knight. They probably do activate James Robinson, I'm thinking, next week. But Zonovan Knight is the guy who took over. He had 14 carries. He turned those into 69 yards. And then Ty Johnson operated as the receiving back out of the backfield. He had a nice game as well. So only 1% rostered right now. Another guy, Jordan Mason, with the Elijah Mitchell injury. Jordan Mason is a speculative ad that you definitely want to pick up. Mitchell was splitting carries with McCaffrey. He was getting quite a few carries still. So Jordan Mason actually could get some run. He got some extra run in week 12, logging 5 carries. With Mitchell not coming back, he's definitely going to be a nice running back to pick up. Kyron Williams, we talked about him. He's only 36% rostered still. He's actually taken over as the main target in that backfield now. He played 70% of the snaps and led all Los Angeles Rams in carries with 11 while adding 3 targets. So he wasn't very efficient, but he is definitely taking over that backfield. Another guy we definitely want to pick up, JaMychal Hasty. He looked good in filling in for Travis Etienne. So definitely pick him up. Hasty got 17 total touches, 12 carries, in which Etienne exited early. And Darrell Henderson might be a speculative ad as well, who they just signed a few weeks ago as well.
There you go. No, a lot of good stuff. It's funny, James Robinson. It's like, what happened to him? It's like I thought he was going to be a bigger role for the Jets, and they're playing like guys like Zonovan White.
I know, that's crazy. I can't believe he's playing over him. I was shocked when I saw Zonovan White and not James Robinson. Another guy too for the Jaguars that you want to take a look at is Zay Jones. He had a huge monster week this past week. He racked up 11 catches, 145 yards, and it had a 2-point conversion as well. So he definitely had a big week. So he's only 25% owned in leagues right now. He's seen 24 total targets over the past 2 weeks. So he's definitely getting some looks now.
No, I agree with all that. I think Ty Johnson would get a bump too for the Michael Carter injury. Just some. Yeah, he'll be the receiving back, like you said. I had to dig deep this week. There wasn't a lot out there that I liked. I mean, if you want to get really, if you think Stafford's going to come back, maybe you go for like a Tutu Atwell from the Rams. He could be a deeper league type situation. Van Jefferson for sure, for the Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp, obviously injuries. So those are the two that you might have a shot, but don't have any expectations for this. Don't drop somebody decent. I think the Rams could be completely mailing it in this year. So I'm worried about that. Equimus St. Brown for the Mooney injury. The Bears need someone to throw it to. I know Claypool's there, but I think St. Brown's going to try to take the Mooney job over now that Mooney's out for the season. Running back Jordan Mason for the Mitchell injury. He's the one that's going to take up the yards. A lot of people thought it'd be Tyrion Davis-Price, but I think it's going to be Jordan Mason that's going to be picking up the slack now. Unfortunately, it's still CMC there, but CMC gets banged up. If CMC's banged up, this Niners running team is massive for a running back. So I almost think someone should be owning both these guys, just a handcuff situation. That's Jalen Warren, I guess, now that Harris just went out this game. So you got to think about him a little bit, Jalen Warren, and maybe Snell, but mostly Warren. And Tyler Conklin, we've said this before, but he's going to have a nice matchup with Mike White against the Vikings' bad D. Whenever there's a backup quarterback type in, you always look for tight ends.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I definitely like that. And then Foster Moreau, too, actually has been playing well, too, as well. Another guy you want to take a look at if you need a tight end this week for buys. But there is really not too many buys. But, yeah, if you're looking for another guy to fill in, or if you're short at tight end, Foster Moreau is actually playing well and placing Darren Waller. So definitely look at picking him up. He's played on the last 6 games 96%, 100%, 97%, 96, 100, and 100. So, yes, he's definitely getting all the snaps for tight ends for the Raiders.
For sure. Let's move on to non-starters trending up for week 13. I'm just going to go right back to Tyler Conklin. He's trending up as a starter against the Vikings. And same with Mike White. Mike White should be able to put up some numbers against the Vikings. The Vikings D is bad. Well, I mean, they're not, I wouldn't say they're the worst, but they're definitely bottom 10, bottom 8, maybe. So that's what I think. Running back A.J. Dillon versus the Bears' horrible D is going to have a field day, I think, especially if Rodgers is out. But I think they're going to, relieve some pressure against Rodgers. They're not going to want him to get hit. And then, I like him. JaMychal Hasty against the lowly Lions. He might pick up some carries for the ETN injury. So I like JaMychal Hasty this week. I like quarterback Marcus Mariota against the Steelers' bad D. You can see them choking up to the Colts right now. Their dink and dunk style probably will beat up the Steelers a little bit. Running back Cordero Patterson on the other side against the Steelers D, I think is going to be good too. Not other side, I meant the other position. Cordero Patterson to match up with Mariota should both have good weeks. Quarterback Deshaun Watson versus the Texans could be worth a look. I mean, I don't know what to expect. He looked really bad in preseason after that year off, Dave. I'd pick him up as a speculative. But this is like his revenge game, so you wonder if it will click. I'm skeptical. If you're desperate, I would take Watson, but I would vote Mike White over Watson this week. I really would.
No, I agree. I think Brissett's still going to be better than Watson, still coming back and just jumping right in there. But they have nothing to lose right now. They're 4-7, so they're going to get Watson back in there. He's a franchise guy, but like you said, I definitely take White over him still. Until further notice. All right, let's move to. Oh, no, we still got a couple. Amari Cooper. You probably start Amari Cooper in most leagues, but he's got a great matchup against the Texans. Wide receiver Drake London versus the Falcons is going to be great. Not versus the Falcons. Versus the Steelers is going to be a good streamer. And running back. No, I can't use this one. Why did I write Derrick Henry? He's a starter anyway. So we'll skip that one. What do you got for matchup?
Yeah, he's got he's got a great matchup. So it's don't think the Eagles have a good running D because they don't.
Yeah, I like Joshua Kelly, actually. He's against the poor Raiders defense. I like him, actually. And Joshua Palmer, I like him, too, against the Raiders. 2 guys trending up. Tyler Boyd against the Chiefs. They don't really have a good pass defense. So I like Tyler Boyd this week. And T. Higgins, you're already starting, but Tyler Boyd I like this week. Samaje Perine, if he does start again, I like that matchup as well for him. Definitely like that matchup. I do like 49ers. I do like Jordan Mason and Tyrone Davis-Price. If either one of those guys get a lot of run, I think they could be sleepers against the poor Dolphins D. Dolphins have been winning, but they've been getting up a lot of points still. I do like actually Kyron Williams against the Seahawks. The Seahawks do not have a good defense as well. So I like Kyron Williams. And I do like Brian Robinson. He's borderline must start almost now. He was sharing snaps with Gibson, but he took over the backfield this past week and just looked awesome. So I definitely like him against the poor Giants D. I agree with you with a lot of your other ones. I do like the matchup for A.J. Dillon this week against the Bears. Pretty much Watson is a must-start probably, too, for the Packers right now. But if not, I like him against the Bears as well. Watson's been blowing up now over the last couple of weeks. He's a TD machine now that he's healthy. And I do like, actually, Kenny Pickett against the poor Falcons defense. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. I like Kenny Pickett against that poor defense, and Jalen Warren if he is filling in for Harris.
Oh no, I agree with a lot of that. Who are your busts?
All right, my bust this week, Ramad Stevenson against the tough Buffalo Bills defense. I don't like him or Mac Jones against that tough Bills D. I do not like the running game, Ravens against the Broncos. Even though the Broncos can't score, they still have a good defense. I'm downgrading Gus Edwards and Kenyon Drake, even though Edwards did take over that backfield this past week. I do not like the Jets running game against the Vikings. I think the Vikings still can stop the run. They're bad against the pass, but I don't think that running backs, those fill-in running backs, are going to get much play against the Vikings. So I'm downgrading that backfield. Do not like Ryan Tannehill against the Eagles. Henry's going to just run all over them because they can't stop the run, as you can see the other night. Packers couldn't stop them either as well, though, but I think Henry runs all over them this week. So definitely a guy you want to start, like you were saying before. So I do not like Tannehill against the Eagles, though. I think they're going to just be running the ball, so he's not going to get many passing attempts. I do not like the Dolphins against the tough 49ers D. 49ers are a team that you don't want to play right now, and the Dolphins do not want to play them this week. Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert are not going to get anything against the 49ers this week. It's definitely downgrading both of them. And then Colts.
It's so interesting to have Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert play their old team here with their old coach that was the offensive coordinator under Kyle Shanahan. That's the biggest story of the week, I think.
Oh, it is definitely. It's going to be the biggest game of the week. But I still don't think they do well against the 49ers. 49ers have been playing tough defense. They just shut out the Saints. So their defense is definitely playing well right now. The old linebacker, I can't think of his name off the top of my head now, the defensive coordinator now. He's been playing. He's got that defense playing really, really well right now. And then I do not like Colts against the tough Cowboys D. Number one ranked defense. I do not like Taylor or Matt Ryan, especially Matt Ryan against that tough Cowboys D.
Yeah, that should be dangerous.
Yeah.
I hope you're not starting Matt Ryan anyway.
Yeah, do not start Matt Ryan.
Yeah, you have to start Jonathan Taylor almost.
You do, yeah, but it's still going to be tough treading for him this week as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, difficult matchup. So I got running back Miles Sanders versus the Titans D. That's a little scary. Might be some better options on your roster than him. Latavius Murray versus Baltimore is bad. And just like Russell Wilson, man, it's just so bad lately. I can't start anyone for Denver, Cortland Sutton either. It's just
right now.
They're so bad. Mac Jones, I agree, against the Bills. That's a tough one. Michael Pittman versus the Cowboys isn't a good look, I wrote. So kind of going with your Matt Ryan thing. Running back Gus Edwards versus Denver on the other side isn't a good position. I think they get their yards another way. But Gus Edwards, probably get like 50 yards or something. But Lamar is going to suck up the touchdowns in that one. Leonard Fournette versus the Saints D. I don't even know if he's back. I know White's been playing there. I don't like either of them, though, Dave. So
no, I don't like either of the tough Saints D. Kamara too struggled this past week. I think he struggles again against the tough Tampa Bay D. They're good against the Bron, so I don't like Kamara's matchup this week.
It's so hard to not start him either, though.
I know, but he only had 13 yards this week on I think it was 7 or 8 carries. Like he didn't
against the Niners.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's true. It's scary for Dolphins owners because you have all those guys you relied on, and now it's like they finally have a tough matchup. So that's interesting. No, that's for sure. Those are my busts, and so that brings us to you. Did your bust, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay, the SC Sleeper, Dave. What do you got?
Mike White, baby. I like Mike White, like you were saying, against the Minnesota Vikings. I think he's here to stay. I think he's going to win that job. I don't think Zach Wilson's going to be starting again the rest of this year. I like Mike White against the Minnesota Vikings as my nasty sleeper of the week.
I almost used him. I almost used him, but I remember like that when he played, it was either last year or the year before. I think it was last year. He was awesome the first game and completely choked the second. So I don't know if that's going to be consistent. I mean, that's just, small sample size, obviously, but
I don't think he does. I think his weapons, he's got a lot more weapons now. They've surrounded him with some good receivers now. So I think his team is much, much better than it was last year. With Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, they got some nice young receivers now. Even though Carter's out, they still have some decent running backs too as well. So I like his matchup though too still.
No, for sure. Mike White, I think is going to be great. Mine's Cordero Patterson because I just think that they should be able to just get a lot of yards versus Steelers. He's going to be a dink and dunk guy too. He's going to get a lot of catches, being that he used to be a receiver, and he's just a good big running back that could pound the Steelers. And I think he's going to have a massive game this week. Steelers are going to be on short rest playing Monday night right now as we speak. So I'm going with Cordero Patterson, buddy.
I like it.
Awesome stuff, Dave. Anything else we missed?
No, just make sure you get those bye week guys out. Make sure you get those make sure you get to the waiver wire and make that final playoff push for those playoff spots.
Yeah, we have the final push happening right now. Awesome stuff. Well, you guys, if you have any questions about fantasy, feel free to tweet us at the Oddsbreakers. Contact us on our website, info@theoddsbreakers.com. Enjoy the rest of your week and go get some winners.